So I'm starting today with this fabulous die set that I got in a My Monthly Hero Arts kit in January 2020. It came with an envelope die and then this die that cuts out sort of like a floral paper wrap. Now you can do this without this die. You just kind of maybe want to approximate. So this die has a diamond shape and then two triangles on the side. It's kind of like a kite, a little kite shape. And I just took a piece of origami type paper and was folding it to approximate this shape. You're not going to get it exactly. This was the closest I could get. But you don't even have to have it that perfect. You could just take, you know, here's a square shape and get it close. I think it'd be easier if you want to do this to get this flat line than to do this beautiful angled shape. But this is what I had to make a wrapping for my flowers. So I'll show you what it looks like put together. And I used all these scraps to make so many of these. I cut this one out of, actually, this is some scrap wrapping paper. So that's why it has a little bit of a sheen on it. You can see the pretty butterflies. So the way this die cuts out, it does the cut and then the fold line here. And so you'll, if you have a double-sided paper, that's nice. You want to pay attention to which way you want to fold it. So it would either have, if you fold it this way, it would have white on the outside and the butterflies on the inside. But I folded it this way to have the white on the inside and the butterflies on the outside. And I'm gonna glue it down onto a card probably so I won't even see this side. But the other thing you can use if you have flower dies would be, that's one way to use up those flower dies. So I have this tray of flowers and I actually still have more in this little, they're jam-packed in this little container. This is how I store them. But I poured them out here so you can kind of see the variety here. And then I threw in some of these scrap dies from this set. This is just a partial die. I was using the stem, so that's extra. And then this leaf came in that die set also. So if you have die cut flowers or punched flowers, you can use that. I also thought you could even, if you have flower stickers, you can put them onto some scrap white paper and fussy cut them out and do this also. So I'm gonna kind of show you how I've done this one by picking and choosing the different flowers. So for a lot of, I did a bunch of them. I'll show you also all the different arrangements that I've done. I'm gonna start by picking like something, well, actually it doesn't even matter. But I'm drawn to this one right here and it's quite large, but I like how it matches the color there. So for this one, I think we could cover up most of the background with it by placing this one down first. And I'm gonna arrange it first and kind of see if I like it. Then I kind of want to find something similar in my little floral collection. Ooh, this one has, again, I really like how these are going, and it's not too dissimilar. They're not from, I don't even think they're from the same kit, but this one could go in here. You're gonna, you know, with larger ones, you're gonna be covering stuff up, but that's okay because we're working with extras here. And then in here, let's see, that's not quite the right color mixture there. This has some nice leaves on it, but I don't, it's a little not quite right. And ooh, this one is actually probably from the same collection there, so I'm gonna set that one aside maybe. And then this one looks like a nice simple one because I don't love what's happening right here. If I leave these guys like this, maybe I want to cover up that just a little bit. If I can get this in here. And with these you can do some layering, you know, stick them under, over. Actually looks nice if they're overlapping some. And maybe that one, something like this. Now, in order to get these to stay put, I think this is maybe enough for this one. I'm gonna take the big one first and kind of put some glue on the back there to make it stay put. Get my glue ready here. So, and this is kind of messy. I might be putting glue where I don't need it, but you know. And if you have a slow drying wet glue, that's great for this point here because, you know, that way you can still change it a bit. I kind of want that one to stick out a little, but maybe I won't. Oh, come on, get in there. And you can always cut things off too. Ooh, I like how that's laying, but I don't know if I want the... I kind of want... well, it dried. I kind of wanted to cover up this tippy top of the back, but it stuck. My glue was too fast drying. I have some repositionable adhesive here, but it is easier to be able to get in there and move things around if you don't glue it all the way down right away. So this one I like. Ooh, I like it right there. Now how does this, maybe if I let this one go under just ever, I like that right there. And so for this one I can leave it right there and just go in and add a little glue because I don't really need everything to stay in place for this. I might just add a little more. I just need it not to fall out. But if you leave a little bit of the edges, getting off frame there, unglued, you can go back in and, you know, with your finger or a tool, you can add a little dimension if you like to give it more volume and character. Alright, that's looking pretty good. The other thing is, if you stick it all the way down, you won't be able to stuff things underneath. Ooh, I like how that looks right there. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to this part since it seemed to go in without any trouble. Then you can stick that right like there. Yeah. And then this one, I'm hoping I can nest it in there. This really wants to go out of frame here. Stop it. Let's try to tuck it. Do we like it coming out there or do we want it to go in front? I'm a little bit indecisive, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then I can fold this up and then I can glue down this side here to stay down. And we have a little floral bouquet to make a grand statement on any A2 size card. Now, let me show you. I got a little carried away with this dye and scraps and maybe got a few out. Okay, more than a few. Here we are. And you see, I still have a ton of flowers. So we have a variety of different interpretations on this theme. And I love, this one has, some of these dies have a little bit of gold. So then I can bring in these gold pieces. Here's some dictionary page that so you can do this with book pages. It looks really nice. And this one, there might be a larger one behind, but then I had these smaller, like this kind of one, and I just cut a little stem out of there and stuck that in, and some of them don't have stems. Then we have this one here, looking slightly more exotic. Here's another one. Now on this one, I added some small flowers with, what are these called? Mounting squares to give it a little more dimension and be able to slip them in. And I like that, how that turned out. And I have so many here. Here's another one. I'll just start, maybe we need to zoom out a bit. This one, this die here in the background was the inspiration, and there was already the purple with the green. I didn't actually add any more purple in here, but I pulled in some lighter yellow and then this same kind of light green. This one I went with a kind of a monochromatic look, and these are all in the blues, but they're from different sets. Many of these die cut flowers are from previous Spellbinders card kit of the month sets. Maybe not all of them though. Ooh, this one's similar to that one. Actually, it probably was some of the same pieces. Hit that one. This is, this one's just white cardstock. Let me get in close here. And that Hero Arts kit came with a stamp set, a coordinating stamp set right here. And that's this stamped on there, sort of a newsprint-like background stamp. So made my own there. And this one is book page. Is this book page? Yeah, it's kind of a book page. Ooh, I love those ones. And then finally another one. And now let's put these into some card examples. I need some cards for my art market that are more, I sold out of like sympathy cards, so I only had like 2 of them, and I didn't actually have any Get Well cards, so I think I'm going to try to do a couple of those, but I have more than enough to do all kinds of other cards. This would be great for a birthday card, for a congratulations card, anniversary, wedding. I mean, there's so many occasions where you might give a bouquet of flowers, and you can make a card for any and all of those occasions with these flowers bouquet. So let's get into that now. So here's another fabulous use for scrap backgrounds also. I mean, many of us card maker people make a lot of backgrounds when we get excited about a new technique or something, and you end up having some extras. So this is a great way to go through your supplies and use them. And so I pulled out this background here that I had embossed with, it's probably a Swiss dot. I already had this already embossed, and the only thing I did for this card was round 2 of the corners. Then I have a card base here, and so we're going to go ahead and start with that and put this down. It's a really nice spring color palette here. Love this embossing folder. I need to use it more often. I should just emboss a bunch of them in every color. The problem is I have a limited storage. Can you relate? Yeah, so for this card and a few of these that I'm going to show you, I am going to go ahead and use this die set. I had a bunch of these flowers cut out, and so I'm going to show you how that looks right here. Look at these. So these were cut out. They were cut out in a light pink cardstock, and then I just took some ink. This is Sliced Strawberry Nouveau Hybrid ink, and used a like sponge dauber thing. Wow. And just gave a little bit of dimension there. That's great, because when it's cut out just in the single color, it looks a bit flat, but it has these cuts, the detail, and so it really, just adding one little ink really adds something there. And then these are the bud ones that I had cut out in green. And so I just cut out, I think I showed you, yeah, I had cut out the bottom half in green and just glued those on, put them together. So for this one, you can see the white background and it's okay. And I just filled in, so we have like, I think there's 2 of this one flower, and then this one is a different one, different one, different one, different one. So really there's only 1 repeat right here. But you can do, there's a lot of option for variety there. This is a great statement piece. I'm going to put it right down there. It doesn't even need to have too much dimension. And again, I'm pulling out the same, this was a great stamp set. I'm sure that there are companies that sell similar ones that are great to have in your stash. You can use over and over. This one even came with this coordinating banner die. It's a die, okay, and it fits the size of all these sentiments. So there's this one right here that says "Get Well Soon." That's what I'm going to use on this card, and I am going to put it down. First I need to glue this down. I think I'm going to go towards the top. It has a bit of dimension, so when you turn the camera on, suddenly none of your supplies are handy. Okay, I want this to adhere pretty well, so I'm going to stick that block on there just to give it a good solid surface to adhere to. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just put this sentiment on flat as well. Hopefully that had enough time to really grab on. See, I'm working with a bit of dimension there, so it's a little tricky. Not even sure. I think right there. I'm not going to try to overthink this too much. Ooh, look at my dirty fingers. But I think that's just adhesive residue, so yeah. Rubber eraser to the rescue. Again, they sell those at Dollar Tree if you have access to that, which is a great buy there because it's less expensive and it's the same thing and the same quality. A little hot tip there. So here is a quick and easy, beautiful card. Okay, maybe it takes a bit longer to put all this together, but if you do it assembly line style, you can get a lot done. So I really love how this turned out, and I'm going to show you a couple others that I've done the same way, relatively speaking. Here's another embossed background that I had. This is, oh come on camera, focus. There you go. Quatrefoil. It's really hard to tell because it's cream and on a white card base. Love, I kind of hoard that background, but I think it really stands out nice in this. Now for this card, it's a lot lighter, so I didn't want to do the black ink. I ended up doing this in the spun sugar oxide, distress oxide ink here, and then embossing it with some clear detail powder. And then I've just inked around the edges of the panel. And on these ones, actually, it's a good example to show you the difference because these ones I just cut out flat. They do not have ink here. They still look good, and when they're all mixed together, you know, they look pretty nice. And then my leaves have a little bit of shine, the paper, so that adds a little something. And I just did different white ones, and I have 2 of the rosebud ones and 3 of the little buds. There's 2 of this one, and then these 2 are unique flowers. And this time I added, can you see that? A little dimension. So there's the flowers are popped up there, and then the sentiment is popped up as well. And finally, I had this background already cut out. I used a background panel die to cut it out, and it was just sitting in that drawer there. And so with the black dots, I thought a nice black flower wrap would be good. And for this one, I have a little bit of white pigment ink on just kind of red cardstock there. Those were all cut out already. They were in my flower scrap bin. And then again, I've added a little bit of dimension here on the sentiment, but other than that, it's pretty flat. So we have 3 cards already done, 3 new Get Well cards, as well as I think there might be about 20 of these bouquets ready to go and make fabulous cards. Thanks again for watching today. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful and creative day and find a way to get into those scraps and get using your stash and your stuff and make some lovely cards. Take care. Bye.